Hi, my name is Barry Crampton. Today I'm going to show you around our Range Rover Sport, then I'll take you for a ride in it, but first I'll tell you a little bit more about it. It's a Range Rover Sport 3 litre SD V6 HSE 4-wheel drive, 2016 on a 65 plate, has access height control, full service history, has done 49,944 miles, MOT'd until the 21st of 2nd 2022. Fuel economy, urban 35.8 miles per gallon, extra urban 44.1 miles per gallon, and combined is 40.4 miles per gallon. 0 to 60 time of 6.8 seconds, top speed of 130 miles per hour out of a 306 brake horsepower, 24 valve, 6-cylinder engine. It's a beautiful car. We've had this car in before and we sold it to a chap who changes his cars, believe it or not, every couple of months. I used to use this vehicle, so I know it's a nice car, and I'll be using it again now. So anyway, we've got the black Range Rover grille, the front parking sensors, the LED running lights here, high pressure headlamp wash, black vents on the bonnet, and although they're imitation, they do really look good. Multispoke alloys. I'm pretty sure we had these refurbed as well, which was only a few months ago, so they should still be like new. And we put 2 new Goodyear Eagle F1 tyres on the front, and it's got matching ones on the back, so again, really nice. The Range Rover vent there, piano black with the twin kind of silver flashes, power folding door mirrors. Got the side steps there, the sill and the bottom of the door protectors there. It's keyless close, keyless entry, and it's keyless go as well. So all you do when you come back to the car, and there you go. Rear privacy glass. It's power open, power close, tailgate, bags of room in the back there. We have all my stuff in the back, a power socket, the roller blind load cover. There you've got reversing sensors. It's also got, let's just catch it, there you go, reversing camera. So little screen in there where the sat nav is, and you can see where you're going at the back. It's, as I say, it's a lovely car, lovely colour combination. The integrated rear tailgate spoiler as well. Right, I'm going to leave the door open because it's got a child lock on, and funnily enough, I don't know how to take it off in one of these. So anyway, in the back here, it's absolutely beautiful. The seats are really, really comfortable. Don't look like it's been sat in. It's got overmats. The rear seats are heated too. As you can see, the rear privacy glass makes it nice and private in the back here. You're sat slightly raised above the seats in the front, so you can see over the drivers. Let me just, it's going to swing too. Rear central armrest, 2 cup holders there, and you've got the rear Isofix child seat, anchor points, 3 inertia reel belts, airbags in the B pillar and the C pillar, and it's a really, really nice car. Okay, I'll just take you for a ride in it. Horrid day. Range Rover key there. It's keyless entry and keyless go. So foot on the brake, click the start button, and away it goes. Got me again. I just got trapped in the back. It's the first Range Rover that I've ever had the experience of child locks. And usually there's a little clip on the back door that you just either flick up or put the key in and turn it round. And there is something that says lock, and I was trying to turn it. Anyway, the thing came out. Couldn't understand what it was, couldn't understand. Anyway, and believe me, for me to resort to the handbook or instructions, I've got to be completely baffled. But I'll just show you, I'll just explain. Range Rover, everything dead simple, everything really well made. And they've done it again, to be fair, because if you press this button, now normally that button is just to stop the kids playing with the electric windows in the back, but if you press that button, it puts the locks on in the back doors, and it also stops them playing with the back windows. It's everything about a Range Rover is simple, easy to use and practical. That is probably up until the next model or the latest ones. Everything's easy enough to use, the proper kind of switches. There's a couple of little bit complicated things which are over-engineered, which I'll tell you about. But driving the cars, they are by far, in my opinion, by far the best four-wheel drive. Best car on the road, and to all intents and purposes, the British as well. So we like to sell them. We're doing our best to sell them. And anyway, service history. Again, another stupid thing. It has got a digital service history. These are the ones I've got at the moment, but because it's come back into stock, I'm pretty sure we serviced it before it went out last time, but I've not got the digital service history for it, so I'll get that when I get back to the garage and try and update it. So on the 8th of the 2nd 2017, at 11,053 miles, it was serviced at Landrover Stoke. Then on the 8th of the 5th 2018 at 18,678 miles, Landrover Stoke again. 5th of the 2nd 2019, 26,650 miles, Landrover Stoke. And then 9th of the 3rd 2020, 39,395 miles, Landrover Stafford. So as I say, I think we serviced it because I'm pretty sure we put new discs on the front and 2 new tyres on the front as well. So it's done 49,944 miles. By the time I get back to the garage, because although I thought it was only 50 miles, I end up doing a round trip of about 70 miles to test them before we advertise them for sale. I've already been using this car, so I know it's all right, but it's an excuse for me to get out of the office, get some fresh air, and do what I enjoy, which is basically driving cars and being around cars and photography. Probably no drone shots today, unfortunately, because it's raining and it's freezing. But anyway, I'll take you for a ride. So foot on the brake, into drive. We've got electric memory seats, just comfortable. Electric memory seats here. That's global lock in there. Your electric memory seats are on the side, or electric seat controls are on the side, like so. But your memory positions are here. So there you go. Alters your door mirrors, steering wheel, and the seat to where you want it. And to where's the thing gone? To set it, let's get that down there. Seat down. Can also, it's got lumbar support as well. There's 2 positions. There we go. You can hear it going down. And then set it. Press the memory, or press the M button, and then click whatever position you want. Memory 1, setting saved. So nice big front central armrest. You've got USB socket in there, auxiliary in, and a power socket. And as I say, they are just beautiful to drive. Although it's quite a miserable day, it's quite bright today, so you'll have to excuse me. Got high pressure headlamp wash. As I say, I don't think this used to have side steps on, so I'm pretty sure that's a new set of side steps that's just been fitted. For anybody who's watching abroad, round here, it's the best of the UK. The countryside, nice and green and lush at the moment, even though it's May. It's lashing down all the time, so it's very pleasant round here. This car's got access height as well, so as soon as you switch off, car goes down, makes it easier to get out. You do have to be careful that you don't pull up near to a curb, a high curb, with side steps on, because it's quite easy to just catch the side steps on the curb as the car goes down, which of course you don't want to do. But it's honestly, I can't see me wanting to drive anything else other than one of these. Now, I was out in, we've got that X5 in, and I drove the X5, and it's a nice sporty drive, but it feels like you're trying to take the tarmac off the road through the wheels. That it's a real harsh drive. This is just absolutely beautiful. If you want to go fast, you just click it across into sport. You can change down using the gear stick like so. And it's as fast as you ever want to go. It kind of, I was going to say, gives you a false sense of security, but it's effortless. Driving the vehicle is effortless. It's quite big. It's easy to maneuver. It's easy to get into parking spaces. It's got a fantastic turning circle. You can see above all the hedges. Everything you could need. Climate control. It's got heated seats here. As I was saying before, some of the things now on Land Rovers, which I'm really disappointed to see, are getting overcomplicated. There's two ways of doing this switch here acts as your temperature setting for your driver's side, and also your driver's side heated seat. So if you click the heated seat, well, if you click the control, it then goes on to heated seat. If you just turn it, it's the temperature control. Now look at this guy with the wood sticking out the side. He's just the wood sticking out the side window, and he pulled over, and the 4x4 or 4x2 or whatever it is, that piece of wood he's got hanging out the window, stuck in the hedge. It's a wonder he didn't rip it out of the car. Anyhow, there we go. Normally I would have just met him here at Death Corner. At Death Corner, and also a wing mirror rip-off corner. Yeah, so if you press it, it converts it to the heated seat, and then turn it, and if you can stand any more than position 1, then they're absolutely nuclear. But also, if you click that, your heated seats positions or switches there as well, and then you can use the screen. But you have to take your eyes off the road. So, I mean, to be honest, this switch, I'd prefer a separate switch that you just click 3 times like you used to do in the old days, and that puts it on nuclear or knock it down a bit. So you click the switch and just turn it off. You don't have to take your eyes off the road to do that, and it illuminates the screen there. You've got your sat nav. So as I say, I touch screens, I don't know what it is. My fingers don't seem to work, and I think these are probably 2015, 2016. I'm not sure I want any later cars than that now, because all these electrics that are in them now, and electric cars. I was reading something the other day, and somebody had got to the destination and they were just about to get out of the car, and the car started downloading a new software update, and he had to sit there while it downloaded. Well, if like me, your computer's ever cut off in an Apple Mac, cut off in the middle of an update, and it took you days to get it back on, and the software's corrupted, and you've got to put the whole operating system back on and load your stuff from backup. That's going to be cars of the future, and I can tell you that whatever you think, however good the planning is, something will always, Sod's Law will always come into effect. For instance, these 5 cameras here are GoPros. I've got 2 Insta360 cameras. Now, the Insta360 camera is a very, very tiny camera, and I got it so I could film the dashboard or little snippets, or a point of view shot. Unfortunately, when you switch the Insta360 camera on, it must be on the same wavelength as the GoPros to switch them off. So when I switch that off, all my GoPros, and that's going to happen. Sooner or later, there will be a gadget that you get, a smartwatch, a smartphone, and the phone will ring and your car will stop, or something, an app. And I'm dreading it, because cars are hard enough to fix now, and that's why I like Range Rovers. A diesel engine which goes on forever. It has the air suspension, which is brilliant. Can be a compromise. Occasionally you do have to repair or replace an air pump on but that's compromise, because the suspension is fantastic. If you have to replace it, well, there you go. The pump is about £300, dead easy to fit on the later ones, a bit harder on the older ones, but you can get a service kit for them, which is 28 quid. And it's just worth it. You go over a pothole. That was a big dent in the ground, and it shook the car a little bit. But if you were in anything else, for instance that X5, it would just jar your spine. See, and as I say, driving, it's effortless. We've got everything you need. Heated front screen, which is fantastic in the winter. Heated seats. The air conditioning system and heating system is fantastic. The seats are unbelievably comfortable, like a big armchair. Big front central armrest. Then you've got an adjustable armrest at the side of the big the big armchair in the center. So everything you can get comfortable. You've got paddle shift here on the steering wheel. They are just, I don't understand why everybody isn't driving a Range Rover. I've driven one now. Well, I've probably driven about 50 now in the last 5 years, and every time we sell it, we've taken a deposit on the red one that I videoed the other week, and I was using, and we hadn't got another Range Rover in stock then, and normally we underwrite vehicles for garages, or we deal with a chap we've been dealing with for 20 years who he underwrites, and he's got very good contacts at Porsche dealer, Range Rover, Land Rover, Jaguar, and all the prestige marks. So we buy cars off him, and we tend to be quite picky, because we only want to buy the cars we like. We hadn't got a Range Rover, so I scoured the adverts and went out and bought one off a private person. You know, I fancy a Mustang, and sooner or later I will probably get one, but I can't see me. I'd like a Mustang to look at, but to drive, I think I'd just jump in a Range Rover every time. They're just superb. You know, power folding door mirrors, and you just feel so safe in them. Don't particularly want to go fast, drive fast. It's just a very, very relaxed way of driving. Nothing seems to wind you up. Just watch out for that pothole there. That's an extremely big one. And bearing in mind that I'm driving different cars every day, and I look for excuses to go out in one of these, and it doesn't matter what weather. It's lashing down, it's snowy. If it's lashing down and you're on the motorway, you're kind of just above the spray, and you can see that other cars in front of you, the lower ones, the spray is up to the side windows, where it's just up to your bonnet. I noticed there was somebody was videoing people trying to get through this Ford in a flood, and I've seen two reports. One was an M4, and I think it was the engine hydraulic, and water won't compress, so when it's drawn into the cylinder you can't compress it, so it ends up blowing the cylinder head gasket or blowing the head off, or the pistons going, whichever the weakest is. And they'd gone through this Ford, which wasn't that deep, it was only kind of wheel height, 20 grand for a new engine, and there was something else, 15 grand for a new engine. A Range Rover Sport will go through 33 inches, will wade through 33 inches of water, which is, you know, I mean, that's up to there on me probably, well, perhaps a little lower. So 33 inches of water, and a Vogue will go through 35. If you're going up a hill, it's something like a 45-degree clearance. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I know it's a lot. You know, so you don't scuff the front of your vehicle. But a few months ago we had a flood in Preston, and to get home I have to go through this place that floods, and I was in a Vogue, and there's a policeman at the front. He got his car across the front, and it was before the flood, and he got to me and he was turning everybody around, and for me to turn around I would have had to go all the way back virtually back to work, and then come round the other direction. And I got to the policeman. What's up? He says, there's a flood here. He says it's about 2 foot deep. I says, well, it's all right, because this will go through 3 foot of water. And he went, turn round. So, not being one to flout the law, I assume it was because they didn't want the bow wave going up everybody's garden. But when the police allow you, you can go through up to 33 and a half inches, I think, of water. And I suppose you've also got the option to up the height of the suspension. There you go. I've just selected off-road height there, so that's just pumping the suspension up. We're just going over this awful little switchback bridge, and yeah, we're on off-road settings here, so I'm not going too fast. And then you've got your terrain response selector there. There we go. There's a Christmas, Mexico, swamp and minefield. That's it. That's Mexico setting with the cactus there, and then there's one with oh no, it's a snowflake there. Oh no, that with the minefield, because that looks like a mine, and then that looks like a Christmas tree. That's Richard Hammond for you. And then I think if we just put that back there, we'll go into auto. You've got a hill descent there. In fact, just a bit further up, I'll just try the hill descent. Oh, that's on the other road, I think. Yes, it is. I'll do it on the other road. But it's just, it brings a smile to your face every time you drive one. Actually, I just need to put that back to normal height selected. Around here is just it's just a lovely part of the country, and this is where a Range Rover belongs, of course. And you can imagine when it's snowing or icy, with that huge drop at the side of the road, what would you want to be in? Would you want to be in a rear-wheel drive BMW? Or a four-wheel drive Range Rover? I certainly know which I'd rather be in. I've been trying to get this view really for a couple of weeks, so hopefully you will be able to see it. So we get a lot of viewers from all over the world, and a lot of inquiries from all over the world now, thanks to YouTube. Last week Cyprus, and also hopefully we've got an inquiry from Australia. There you go, Mr. Sheep. Oh, Mr. Sheep and Mr. Duck. That's it, out of the way. Electric cars, I hate them. I just think they're insane. I think it's an insane idea. Obviously there's people who are a lot cleverer than me, but in the past we've had a couple of Prius, Lexus, crikey, we've had a few hybrids. They don't drive very nice. Some of them, the hybrids, you get to 70 and there seems to be like a funny feel. It goes onto the diesel or the petrol engine, but the motors are still being driven to power the batteries again, recharge them, and can kind of feel it through the car. But also, the thing that frightens me the most is that you leave them for a couple of days. We had several priors when I worked at another company. You leave them for a couple of days and the batteries go flat and you can't start them. Now, we had a car a couple of weeks ago that the customer had jump started, and unless you know what you're doing, it's very, very easy to blow an ECU or blow several ECUs. And it's just, I just know that in the future they are going to be trouble, big trouble, expensive to fix. When the batteries go eventually, by then there may be cheaper versions and a lot smaller. But these cars and everything these days is designed. I'm just going to let this smart car go past because he looks like he's in a hurry, and I'm not. Batteries are getting smaller and smaller, but what are they going to do? These cars are designed like this. The suspension, the centre of gravity, it's all designed, it's all meticulously planned, so you don't slide off like you used to do in a, you know, you go around the corner in an old 911 and put your foot down and the next minute you're in a hedge. Now, if they make the battery smaller, you will still have to have the same amount of ballast, otherwise the car's centre of gravity will go completely, and you'll find yourself going around a corner and be facing the wrong way. Or in the bigger cars, the SUVs, you'll end up tipping over. So you're still going to have, even if they make the battery smaller, you're still going to have the same amount of weight in the vehicle, otherwise it's not going to be safe. So I just really don't know. Whereas with, you know, a diesel you can burn chip fat, you can run it off chip fat basically. I don't know where they're going with electric vehicles. You can't work on them without getting, you've got to be very, very careful, otherwise you can get a nasty shock. I was reading an article and it said something like, if, what was the phrase? It was a lot cleverer. Whoever wrote it was a lot cleverer than me, but it basically said they tend to explode when you're taking them apart. Now, believe me, I worked on a vehicle that the IRA had booby-trapped. They'd put a bomb in it. It was an English doctor, but they'd gone to Ireland and the IRA had stolen the car. They'd booby-trapped it, and the insurance company sent it back to the UK for a new wiring loom. And I got the job. I got the job of repairing it. As it happened, there was only 2 wires cut, and I used to fit the alarms as well when I was younger. But I tell you what, the sitting in the vehicle, knowing there'd been a bomb in it, or it could explode, you know, they said the driver said the bomb disposal expert thinks he's got all the explosives out. Now, how comforting is that? And well, long story, but they used to put sound deadening pads in the doors, and they were about so big and yellow, and they just looked like a block of Semtex. And I decided before I did anything, before I reconnected the battery, I would check the whole car over myself. And I think, I don't know, I was probably 19 or something. And we had an old wise mechanic. When I was connecting the battery leads, I'd got my eyes shut. I disconnected everything. And just as I connected the last lead, the mechanic came up behind me and went, bang! And I banged my head on it was a white Astra GTE. I banged my head on the bonnet. So the point I'm trying to make is that must be the feeling each mechanic gets every time they work on a electric vehicle. At any time the thing could explode. So I'll leave you with that anyway. Thanks for watching. Diesel's the answer. Synthetic fuel, I was going to say bionic fuel, but is it biotech fuel? Whatever. Not electric. They are horrible to drive, very, very fast, tyre shredders, very fast, but there's just something not right about it being that quiet. Anyway, that's it. With those thoughts, I'll leave you to it. Thanks for watching. We should be back to normal now. We have moved. We've got several lovely cars to photograph and video if I get the time, and I'll see you in the next video. But what a car. Range Rovers, don't let anybody put you off them. You have to. I've started again now. As I say, BMW, I've said in this, but I don't like BMWs. I just don't like them. I don't like the company. I don't like the salesman when you go in there. I don't like the service departments, the way the service department treats you. And obviously there'll be some good and some bad, but it's just the ones I've had experience with. And the stuff on BMWs that goes wrong, the light clusters, 380 quid I think they are. There is a warning light on the dashboard. It just flickers on, a handbrake warning light, and it comes on. You think, oh, easy fix. It's an ECU underneath in the cable that's 1100 quid. And I think we've had to replace 2 of them. We don't sell that many BMWs, and we've had to replace 2 of them. 1100 quid. The body control units, I think we've done 3 of those at 850 quid. We're only a little garage, and that purely and simply, one of them was purely and simply because the front windows wouldn't cycle automatically when the convertible was going up. Now, somebody, a lady contacted me through YouTube. She was having trouble with her BMW. The roof wouldn't go up. It was stuck halfway up and halfway down. And she took it to a local garage, which I advised her not to. I advised her to go to a BMW agent, get them to plug it in the machine properly, and they'd tell her what it is. Now, again, you know, you can get fooled. Well, we'll say a couple of times, but our local BMW agents, I've had 3 occasions in the last year to take a vehicle to them. One was an electric car, and 2 were convertibles. And each time they said, you have to authorize an hour for diagnostics. Each time on the day, after an hour, they came back to us and said, we need more than an hour. Now, the first time I was a bit suspicious, because I do know my way around a diagnostic machine, and I thought they should, and to be honest, we 90% knew what it was, but because it was such an expensive part, wanted to make sure, wanted a second opinion. So they rang and said, we need another hour, we need you to authorise another hour, and I think it's another 120 quid. So I said, right, okay. And then sure enough, they came back and told us it was the body control unit, which is what we thought in the first. But now instead of just costing us £120 to know, it's 240, and it's just getting to the point where it's worth the risk of doing the job. And anyway, second time, same thing, same call. And so I was again a little bit suspicious. The third time with an electric car, same thing, we need another hour. And again, it was what we thought. It's quite an expensive job, and obviously, you know, it's worth the £120 if they tell you, when you could have put an £850 ECU in, plus VAT that is, and it not work. So we just wanted a second opinion. But as I say, I'm very, very suspicious of main dealers now. I don't think they treat you very well. I think the staff are more worried about poncing about the showroom and the service department, and chatting each other up, which is no doubt what I would have done when I was younger and in a main dealer. But find yourself a good independent. We've just had a job done on a Range Rover Sport, and it was a simple repair. Somebody had needed to do a simple repair. It was an EGR valve, and they'd put the wrong bolt back. The bolt was too long. They'd screwed the bolt in, and it had cracked the rocker cover, and there was an oil leak. Now that was a stupid person, and the repair was £880. We hadn't had it done. It was before the car got to us, and they'd cocked it up, but we don't cock things up. We got it repaired, and we took it to a Land Rover specialist who we always deal with at Clawton at Garstang, and he does our jobs. Great guy. If you ever need anything doing, please go to him and tell him that Grosvenor Garage sent you, because he's done us a lot of favours. So we'd like to return the favour, and so, you know, think twice before going to a main dealer. I know they have to buy all the equipment, and I've been there myself. It costs you a fortune, but I do doubt the integrity, especially when I know full well that they're on. The mechanics are on bonus, the service manager's on bonus, the general manager's on bonus, and it's you know, in order to do that, they have to grind out the last penny that they can out of the deal. But anyway, I'll leave it there. See you in the next video.